Oh yeah! Welcome to How Can She Snap? This is the Marvel Snap podcast dedicated to the filthy casual. I'm the kid, one half of the Super Snap Bros, here with my brother from the same mother, Mr.
No big deal, baby.
No big deals here, baby. We got a very special guest this week. It's been a long time coming. He's probably the best Twitter follow for Marvel Snap content you can get out there. Always, I don't know how you do it, man. But we got SnapVariants here. Your Twitter account's insane. I love it. I don't know how the hell you keep up with it, man. Like, you're gonna have to hire a team, I think. There's gonna be a lot of variants and stuff coming soon, like the new borders and stuff. I don't know, man. But welcome to the pod. How are you?
Fantastic. Yeah, thank you. That is very kind of you. Now, also Blue Sky. Just moved over to Blue Sky as well.
Oh, nice. I can barely work Twitter, so I don't even know what that is. But why don't you tell them how they can find you, man?
So I am SnapVariants at SnapVariants on Twitter, and also on Blue Sky, and also on TikTok, which was my first thing that I built, or the first thing I did. And I used to have an Instagram, but I got booted off for no reason, and then I got so angry I was just like, I'm never doing Instagram again. So.
Zuck, what are we doing, Zuck? Come on, kid.
Yeah, that's right.
Why are we cooking up? We're kicking off MSV off. That's crazy. Man, Zuck's got to relax, man.
Zuck has no
But
chill.
I mean, the account evolved. Like, originally I just did it so that people could see what upgraded variants look like, and now we can actually do that in the game, which is awesome. So now it's really become a way for people to share the stuff that they really love, or splits and variants that they really love, and appreciate some of the art in the game. Like, did you see Alex Ross posted his own variant, like a super split, like a god split of his own variant yesterday?
Oh, that's
which
awesome.
I think it's. I don't know. I wonder if he plays or if he just got the video from someone else.
That's pretty awesome, actually.
He might play. I wouldn't put it past him. I assume Dan Hipp plays this game.
Yeah.
Hey, man. Yeah, man. Speaking of awesome variants, your getup is amazing. The glasses on point, man. You got the color, you got the theme.
Yeah.
I love it, dude. So we appreciate that as well. It's great.
I mean, you have to if you're coming on this podcast.
Frick yeah, I love it. Well, yeah, so we had a pretty cool episode. I mean, again, we can't. The second dinner has been holding out on us on these, balance changes. So we've been wanting to talk shit for a while. The next one better be good, or we're gonna go off. But there's none of those. But we're gonna talk about the new season that just released. We got Surtur, another broken ass fucking card. Season pass card. 3 drops are watch out 3 drops. But Surtur, and then we got Frigga, another 3 drop, which is, in my opinion, not as good as this one. But we'll talk about that. We'll talk about the decks we've been using to climb, and then we're gonna get into No Big Deal's been perusing Untapped, and he's gonna talk about some of the least popular cards, and we're gonna talk about how to make them popular again. And that's it. Let's get it. The kid. All right. Snap variants, dude. How are you, man? How the heck are you?
It has been a really rough week. Lots of changes happened in the U.S. and so I am trying to just keep positive and keep distracted. I took a little break from Twitter just so I didn't have to see things, but I'm back.
A lot of politics
Everything's
on Twitter,
okay.
for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
It takes
kind
a
of
day or two.
It's true. I mean, we're both Canadian, so we can't vote. I only got I had no social media for so long because it just bothers me. Because eventually everything gets political. So I only got Twitter for Snap, and I only had Marvel Snap people, and there's all this fucking politics shit too. And I'm like, God damn it! So
you can't escape it.
So it's whatever, just play the game and just fucking forget about it. I don't care. But yeah, I hear you, dude. How you liking these cards in Snap though?
I just wasn't. I wasn't that excited about the this week's cards, but I still wanted to play with both of them. I think that when I have a card that I really want, I plan out, I build some decks, and then try to like on the first day, see if I can get a deck that really hits. But I just didn't really feel it with this set. But I've had fun. I like Surtur is. You're right. It's broken. I mean, it's a. How is it that we have like? Why would you ever play like the thing right at 3/4 enough? I mean, like it is like a higher stated card than cards that have downsides. It's wild.
Yeah.
Like, and there's zero downsides to Surtur, other than the fact that you get him so big that maybe he gets shanked. That's the only downside. I mean, yeah, it's one. I guess the question is, how long after this season pass is over before he becomes a 3/4?
I would guess a month probably. If I had to put a time on it. I mean, I'd love it if they did it now, but I would say because I don't know if the numbers are going to get so crazy where like in like a big dumb idiots deck, which obviously the deck is doing extremely well right now. But shout out Gunny T again. I mean, my God, how far we've come, Gunny T, and salute to service, Marine Corps, Marine Sergeant Gunny T, the man. I absolutely love him, and I can't believe his deck is the meta deck right now. We've we've come a long way, but yeah, it's I don't know I don't know if the deck will like break the meta. It is just the points after all. You can counter points, and you could also outpoint them with crazy combos. So we'll see after like the first week. All the like kind of top players will obviously be in Infinite playing, so we won't have all the botflation with the stats, and we'll see where it shakes out.
Yeah, this seems just like a good. Like obviously, it seems like a really, really, really good card. Like it's a 3/5 with like ridiculous upside. Like the only downside, like you said, Snap is the really you could Shadow King it, or it gets to a point where after a couple buffs, it becomes 10, and so you can Shang it. Which if you're wasting the Shang on a 3-drop, I mean that's like value, right? Like it's pretty good. You can't be mad about that. Like this card in like the dedicated like tens deck, like the Big Dumb Idiots deck, is easily a 3/11, and a lot of times a 3/14 too. And then it just gets kind of nuts. So yeah, I think eventually it's gonna get nerfed. I mean, it's been like 3 days, whatever, 4 days, and we're already talking about nerfing this card. But like, it's so good. Like, it's so good. It's not like oppressive. Like, it needs to immediately get nerfed. Because like you said, no big deal. There are like a lot of, you could counter this, right? You could Shang, you could Shadow King. There are other decks like that can just put up more points. But like in this point slam deck, like the Big Dumb Idiots, like this is like the card that this deck needed. And I wouldn't want it to go below a 3/4 because I still would like it to be a 10 after 2 procs, because Scar needs some love. Like I like Scar as a card. It's nice getting a 0 Scar. Like there are a lot of decks with Mobius that are floating around. Like I've played a lot of Mobius this week too, just to kind of screw them over. Just because I'm an asshole. But yeah, this card is it's not like an amazingly cool card like that does something insane. It's just like big stats,
too many points. Yeah, it's too many points for the cost. It's you're just way too reliably, like a 3/11 is a low end. Like you could get this at a 3/11 like on the last turn of the game. Like it's ridiculous. So yeah, it's too many points. I mean, they obviously knew that they want to sell their season pass. They're trying to pump the last quarter, final quarter numbers, the revenue, maybe a little low. They gotta pump those numbers up. So got rookie numbers, so gotta pump those up. But so they did a broken season pass card. The last season pass card was broken too. So I'm seeing a little bit of a trend there. But if people like are really sad about this, like if people feel like this card is kind of ruining the meta, I like your Mobius idea, Kid. And also, I got to point out a couple cards that I think are really good against this. And one of them nobody's playing, but one that a lot of people are playing, Cassandra Nova, the bald beautiful gal. Bald is beautiful. And I like Cassandra Nova is unbelievable against this card. You hit their whole deck, all the 10s become 9s, GG. Okay? The other one is you should snap if you have both these in your hand. Like say you queue up a game of Marvel Snap, right? You see your opponent has played the cat, Zabu. Okay, so they play Zabu on 1, and you look down at your hand and you see Scorpion, Cassandra Nova, Snap, boom, it's GG.
That's great.
Nobody's playing Scorpion. Nobody's playing Scorpion.
I've seen a couple lists with Scorpion actually, like in the weeds.
Okay.
Like like off meta, like not like top players or anything. Just some like people with like lower follower accounts on Twitter that like I just follow every Snap person I found early on. They're like, hey, Scorpion's pretty fucking good against these. And it's like, you know what? That's actually a good call, dude.
9s on the hand. Casanova makes the whole deck 9s. Surtur does nothing. Scar does nothing. It's one way to deal with it. Mobius another way. Shang-Chi, they can't Cosmo everywhere. They can't armor everywhere. So, you could do like Echo Shang-Chi is one thing you could do too. So you could guarantee, if you have an Echo lane, you guarantee Ken Shang that lane. So, there are things you could do to counter it. Obviously, the armor Cosmo gives it the old Shuri feel where it's like there's a fucking armor and a Cosmo just sitting there and just it's preventing you from doing anything. But we have ways we could deal with it. And then, the way I like to do it is just play some absolutely degenerate combo that just goes over the top of, because at the end of the day, 10 is still just 10, like if you could get a lane to like, 60, like if like I haven't played any Tribunal, but like if you just play a Tribunal deck again, like what's this deck going to do against Tribunal? Like absolutely nothing,
Yeah.
Yeah, I have seen a lot of Tribunal, or I mean, I've seen pockets of Tribunal popping up, and I no big deal. I feel the same way. It feels like sure. I mean, it doesn't feel like by turn 4 you're never going to win this type of feeling that old Shuri had. But it feels so much like Shuri with the armor and Cosmo. Like you plop those down to protect, and then you just dump all the power. I have played Echo in a couple decks, but it's so hit and miss. Like there was a deck I played like last year which used like Echo and Cosmo with Ghost Spider to sort of like block folks, so that you'd lay it down and then they would play it on the other lane and then you'd pull it over to the other lane, right?
That's great.
But it just seems like so much work just to, just to like shut down a Cosmo, right? I tried a bit of Negasonic Teenage Warhead, but
nice.
The problem is that you really need priority for that, and they're getting so much power down early. You have to kind of build around getting priority early so that you can Negasonic.
Yeah, you need prio too for or else they'll just throw an armor on top of it, right?
Yeah,
you gotta watch out for that too.
The one thing that's annoyed me about these decks the most, like playing against them, like it's not like the power, it's the fact that I have to assume that they have Scar every game, and so like when it's turn 6 and I'm like, I could probably win. I'm like, fuck, if they have Scar, I'm like, there's no way I'm winning, and it's like 75% of the time they're drawing their Scar. You got that's the most annoying part, but I do love Scar, so I can't talk shit. But
I mean, same with Hella, right? Same with
I know. Yeah.
Right.
That's like the annoying part about Hella too. It's annoying.
Yeah.
There was another card.
Go ahead. Sorry.
No, there was another card that was getting me too, because you get the armor down and then the Cosmo down, and then they'd like play their big cards, and then you'd feel like you'd have one spot where you could hit with Shang, and then that's where they put down the Alioth, right? So that combo of Cosmo, armor, and Alioth, just it's impossible, right?
Yeah,
you can't take them down.
What's funny about these decks is like you think they'd all be the same, and like they are like the core is the same, but there's a lot more variation in all these decks than I thought there was going to be. I thought there was going to be like 1 or 2 card difference between. There's a lot of different ways to build in. It's been pretty interesting.
I mean, that's a good point. I mean, Surtur's a hot card, and people are getting spicy with the deck building. So you see those flames come golfing flames, golfing away, golfing up, and man, people are getting spicy. That's true. I thought this would be boring deck building. Like just I got my 10s, I got my Zabu, I got my Scar, GG. But yeah, you're right. It's people are getting pretty spicy with it. Seeing some Moon Girl. It's interesting.
Yeah, a lot of them don't have Shang. Like Shang is like not played as much as he should be played right now. I thought he was coming back big time. I'm not seeing too much Shang here and there, yes, but like, man, I don't know. Play Shang in your decks, guys. This is like the Surtur meta's ripe for it. But yeah, I don't know. It's an interesting card.
I think
Nonetheless.
that is the clear sign it probably will get nerfed. And it's I don't know it is something I do like when they make a card so strong that you can put it in anything, and it can do you see all these different decks like all this variety because it's so it can go in anything. It probably is too strong, and so then you nerf it, and then it goes down to the like one or two decks that can really support it. So at least it's exciting that you get all this variety.
Yeah, yeah. All right. Let's talk about Frigga, the other card here. Miss Friggoff. Let me find her.
Yeah, we got 3/3 cloning vats on your last card.
Basically. All right, yeah, Frigga 3/3 on reveal. Add a copy of the last card you played to your hand if able. I didn't like this card going into it. Going into I was planning on skipping this week, and then because what's in the cache? Red Guardian, Copycat, and Frigga.
Yeah.
All Red Guardian and Copycat, pretty good 3-drops. So decent cache.
Yeah, if you don't have them, it's a good cache for sure.
Yeah. I saw some lists. I'm like, oh, I saw like a bounce move and some move lists, and be like, you know what? Let me just try. It's gonna, they look fun. They look fun. So I broke down. I got Frigga, but I was 4 bagging in the keys, boys. I was 4 bagging in the keys. It took me 4 this week and 4 last week. I'm like, oh, if I get her in like 2, that'd be great. I would have been happy. Well, because I spent 4 last week, and I'm like, fuck, this is a card I didn't even want. And I spent 4 keys. I'm like, shit. But yeah, I don't know. What are you guys' initial thoughts on this card? What do you think? SnapVariants, what do you think, dude?
Yeah, I initially thought, okay, this is gonna bounce. This is where it should go. But I don't know. I feel like it's hard to fit it in, and it's hard to spend that power when you're at the end of your curve just to copy a card. Because I mean, you have to play it on turn 5 really to get the most benefit out of it. Because you need something to copy, right? I ended up I focused more on uh, using it to copy like death, using it to copy discounted cards. I like hopefully by turn 5 you can play something plus Frigga that you can get. I mean, if you can get death down to 2, right? Or I don't know. I haven't gotten too far yet on this concept, but I think that's the key rather than trying to copy like a small 1 or 2, 1-drop, 2-drop that maybe has like blown up a bit.
What
So,
about do you play it with Deadpool snap variants? Like,
uh,
even
I
like a
mean,
1/8 Deadpool, would that be a worthwhile thing to do?
if you can, absolutely, especially because then you can fit it in on turn 5, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. I mean, if you're getting a 1/8 Deadpool and you're to copy a 1/8 Deadpool, what are you really doing in the rest of
Yeah.
the?
Yeah, you may as well just destroy it. It's the same thing. Yeah. That's a good point. Yeah, you have to be playing like some magic destroy deck, I guess, to make that work.
I mean, the destroy deck I put it in is this deck I've been playing for a long time, which is just putting a bunch of 1-drops down, uh, with Squirrel Girl and Shanna, and then destroying them. Oh shit!
Yeah.
Rip.
I have to get my headphone.
No, get it. Yeah, I'll say, no big deal. I know you were really excited about this card, so I'll let you I'll let you talk about what your thoughts are on this card afterwards, because you're the most excited. But like, I'm not a fan of this card. I think it's okay. Like, I don't think it's great. I think Den, who's one of the best players in the world, one of the best probably deck builders,
Chief
had
Copium.
the most unhinged take I've ever heard on a fucking card before the season. He said, "This is going to be the best card of the release of the season, and it's not even close."
Mm-hmm.
I'm Surtur's way fucking better than this card. Period. As far as I can tell right now, maybe it'll take a couple weeks for people that are good at the game to break this card, but I'm not seeing it. It's good in move. It's good in like it's okay in move. It's okay in bounce. I've got a couple big Human Torches, a couple big Vultures, Dagger as well. Like, it can get big card. You can get cards that are good, but like I don't know, 3/3 just seems too slow, too clunky. To me, it's okay. I don't think it's great. It's not dog shit, but it's just okay.
Yeah,
No big deal. I know you were real excited about this card, so go ahead. And you've been using it in a weird list, so I love it.
Yeah. Well, look, man. I mean, I agree with everything you're saying. It's not like you're not breaking it. I'm with you on the power level. It's funny.
Some people love this card, dude. I don't know. I don't see it.
You were talking about the keys. It was Tuesday. This card came out, and I looked down and I said, you know what? I said on Nerf Herder Pod last week I was going to pay to win Copium on this card, and so I saw I had 4,500 tokens. I went to the gold shop. I bought the $13 bundle that gives you gold, so I could go to Token Tuesday to buy my 1,500 tokens. So I got the 6K, and so I could cope with Frigga. So I'm here. I'm full Copium mode. This card is to me a classic, where I don't want to be like a hypocrite on these kind of card reviews, or should I pick up a card, should I not? Like, I didn't pick up Anti-Venom, and I didn't pick up a card like Nocturne, and I picked up this card because I don't know, the way I see the card releases is basically, does the effect look fun? We're losing the kid again. Sheesh, kid, you died again, I think.
Man, what the hell? My dog just came in.
That's okay. So I look at the card. I say, does the effect look fun? Is it unique? Is it doing something different that the other cards can't do? Like, who knows if Annihilus is good, but send all the negative cards to the other side. Like, that sounds like a crazy effect. I need that in my collection. And this, to me, is one of those cards. And we can't get mad if, Surtur gets nerfed and the good cards get nerfed, and you see like a 3/4 Frigga. Or if Frigga ever goes to 2 cost, I think she's going to be genuinely really good card if she's a 2 cost card. And it doesn't really matter what the power says. She'd be a 2/1. I think she'd be pretty sick. So I like this card a lot. I think she's really fun, and I've been playing only. Like I said, card came out Tuesday. I mean, we're recording this Saturday. I've just been spamming Mr. Negative, and it's hilarious. It's so good in Mr. Negative, and you don't have to play on 5 in that deck. You could play any time. You got a cheap card. You play Frigga. You got 2 of them. It's like everybody says. This card, it's good with discounted cards like Death. SnapVariants pointed that out, and it's good with green power. And Mr. Negative has both of those things.
That's great. Mm-hmm. Yeah, your negative list looks fun. I haven't played it yet, but it looks good.
Once Gore comes out too, we got 2 Gores. Imagine you get a flipped Gore. Oh my God, Christian Bale? Are you kidding me? Fucking, we're spamming Christian Bale on the board. Let's go, man. We're gonna be slamming. We're frigging off Christian Bale. Let's go.
What do you think, SnapVariants? What do you think about this card? What's your final take on this card, man?
Do you remember Grandmaster? Everyone thought it was going to be totally broken, and then it just didn't perform as well. I agree with No Big Deal. I think it's the power. I mean, Grandmaster started a 2-0,
yeah,
and then now it's a 2-3, and even at 2-3, it's still pretty low on the end of being played.
Yeah, it's like borderline playable at 2-3. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't think the effect is as great as it's. I mean, I think by being the card that you play before, maybe, or versus after. I don't know. I'm not sure which one of those would have ended up being better. I think probably it would have been even more powerful if it was the card you played after, because then you can play it on a turn 3, or even turn, and then play something big, turn 4, turn 5, right? You can play it early and then have two turns in a row. But really, I think that it has to go down. I mean, it would have to go down to 2 for it to really be meta. Yeah. I do. I mean, 2-1 maybe is a little bit, okay. Maybe 2-1 or 2-2. But for right now, it's just, it doesn't, there's no combo that makes it super powerful right now.
We'll see about that.
We'll see about that. All right. The negative cope, that's fine. If you're popping off on negative, you're popping off.
Let me say this too, just because you're right, SnapVariants. You guys are 100% right. I'm not saying go out and I actually opened up my wallet and bought this thing. Okay, like I paid to win on this one. Okay, so like if you're limited resources, this is a clear skip. Like for now, anyway. But I will say, just historically, especially if you're new to Marvel Snap, right? And this is the Filthy Casual podcast, so if you haven't been around over the years, Second Dinner, they do these OTAs. So we're constantly changing the cards, and they've shown a very heavy bias towards cards that are, especially in Series 5. In Grandmaster is a good example. I mean, again, it's barely playable now, but I mean, they touched up that card multiple times because it's a Series 5 card. Meanwhile, I've got a list of 20 cards we're actually going to go through later that, are not Series 5 that all need buffs and they're not getting them, but these cards tend to get the buffs, what was the one last season where they got buffed like immediately? I've already forgot. Oh, Agent Venom before it came out got buffed immediately, but wasn't there another one? Oh, you're muted.
Anti-Venom. Anti-Venom got buffed. Or Misery got buffed and Anti-Venom. I think Anti-Venom, was Anti-Venom originally a 4/6?
It was Datamine 4/6, but yeah, it came out 4/7. But yeah, Misery was what I was thinking of.
Misery was a 4/7 and got buffed like a week later to a 4/8.
2 weeks go by, they buff him.
It was pretty good as a 4/7.
Yeah, but they, if people don't buy the card, they might just buff it. So I'm not saying buy it for the buff. All I'm saying is if you like the effect, if you like the idea of this effect, this is a degenerate card, and this is a combo card. If you're frustrated, you like playing consistent decks with consistent power, this is not the card for you. Okay, no. This is a degen combo card that you're gonna have to retreat a lot of games, and then there's gonna be games where you're popping off and laughing and having a good time, and that's my kind of card. And look, they basically took hella away from me, so I got to do something degenerate, and so I'm playing this card. And honestly, this Mr. Negative deck feels really strong, even against real players like top meta decks. I'm like shitting on Surtur. I don't know how to say it. Those decks, like with this card.
Yeah. Well, that's great. Well, all right, let's get into some of the decks then. We'll see this infamous Mr. Negative deck and talk about it. It's gonna be great.
We're going to the moon. We're going to the moon with Gore.
Every month you come up with some dumb deck, and I love it. So I haven't played it yet. I think I'm just gonna have to just cope and play your stupid deck. Fucking Ant-Man Tribunal.
Just try it out. Try it out for 5 games. Let me know how you do.
All right, let's start off with the tried and true, the big dumb idiots. Gunny T messaged us like day of was it the first day or the day after the season release?
I think it was the first
day. he's like, guys, I got it. Big dumb idiots number 4. Here it is. It's Squirrel Girl, Zabu, Hydra Bob, Armor, Shadow King, Cosmo, Surtur, Crossbones, Call Obsidian, Typhoid Mary, Blob, Scar. This is like, the shell for Surtur. There's Crossbone, Typhoid, Call. Blob's not in every deck. Could be, Scar's in every deck. Armor, Cosmo. It's a pretty good, just point slam deck.
Yeah, Gunny said he was 1-11 with this deck. Like the first day he played it, he played 12 games. He went 11-1, or not 1-11, 11-1. Sorry. 1-11 games, lost 1. So
it is a lot of power.
Yeah, this is just like the classic. Like this is it. You want a big dumb idiots deck. This is it. We go through some of the variations. I mean, this deck kind of just plays itself. Like there's no like nuance. It's just play Surtur on 3, and then whatever the hell you want to do before that is just play whatever you can. Except for obviously don't play Shadow King on 2, and then just play whatever you can. You can play Crossbones if you're winning a lane. Great. Squirrel Girl helps with that. Squirrel Girl helps with Call Obsidian as well. You can play 1s on every lane. It's great. Hydra Bob's a 1/5.
Sorry, go ahead, kid. Sorry, you can finish it.
No, I was just saying Hydra Bob's a 1/5. It's great. Throw it down anywhere. If you don't have Surtur, play Cosmo somewhere. So that way your 4-drops don't die, and maybe you get priority for Crossbones. Typhoid Mary's sick, and then you got Blob and Scar.
Yeah, I would say the Gunny Spice is definitely Blob here. I'd say if you did the most standard build of this deck, I think that's a Tuma. I think they just play a Tuma there. You throw him in a lane by himself, and then maybe you armor him later on. If you want to keep playing there. But Gunny, he likes the Blob, so Blob is in here.
Yeah, Blob can get big though too. If you have 2 big guys in your deck, like he's a 620.
He's 20, yeah.
So it's pretty awesome. And then like Atuma's in that slot. Eliath is in these decks too. Arrow, I've seen in a few of them. Yeah. Just to name a few. We can go over some of the variations as well. Where I have, oh yeah, Jet made a Phoenix Force Surtur deck. Wow, that's just craziness. This is what I wanted to talk about. This one. This is one of the boys from the Alliance Voltron pilot. He wrote a Wiccan Big Dick Wick Surtur deck. This looks pretty cool. He's like made Infinite with it. He's like, I didn't think it was gonna be good. I don't know why it's good, but it just kept working. So it's Quicksilver, Domino. I want to try this. This looks great. Quicksilver, Domino, Cosmo, Kyera, Surtur, Shang-Chi, Wiccan, Crossbones, Cull Obsidian, She-Hulk, Scar, Magneto. So basically, he wrote in the Alliance chat, he has Kyera and Cosmo, but really didn't see any Shang-Chi. He's like, so those could be like the flex slots because like he didn't really use them that much. He didn't feel like they were so necessary. And he said one of the most fun things to do was basically against the Surtur decks, like you have you get down your Wicked on 4, and then on 5 you can Magneto. So you pull all their Surtur cards over to one lane, and then you Shang them on turn 6. So he was like, he was having a blast doing that. So this looks like a kind of a fun variation on that type of deck, but the same kind of deck nonetheless. But
I'm happy you pointed that out actually, because that is the classic counter to Cosmo, right? One of the only cards that affects Cosmo is Magneto, right? Because you can't play in the lane, but you could move them out of the lane or move their Cosmo as well, right? So
you're pulling all these cards, so it's great. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I guess if you pull the Cosmo, then that sucks, but then you just play the other lanes, I guess, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you dump all their power, but yeah, it's like because all those cards are 4 costs, right? So Magneto's really great in this meta.
Yeah, Surtur's a 3 as well, so he's gonna get big, and you can just pull him over. It's awesome. All right, and then SnapVariants, you had a take on a Surtur deck. Why don't you go through yours here? This one's really cool too.
All right. I can't see the screen as well, so I'm going to pull it up on my side.
All right. You want me to go through it? I'll go through it. It's Zabu, Psylocke, Valentina, Luke Cage, Surtur, Shang-Chi, Gwenpool, Anti-Venom, Typhoid Mary, Alliath, Scar, and Magneto. Why don't you tell us about your cook here? This is pretty cool too.
Yeah, I mean, it's a kind of a ramp deck. I mean, that was the plan, and that's using Zabu and Psylocke to ramp. And then I'm trying to get all those my 10 or like 10 plus cards down at the very end, and using Valentina and using Anti-Venom to try to do a bigger dump at the end, and then Luke Cage, ups their power back up again. So Valentina will give you those 6 cost cards, but they won't be 10 or above. And same with Anti-Venom, right? So that Luke Cage is comes in clutch when you can play that 4 cost, Valentina plus an Anti-Venom card or something else, right? That you can pump that Surtur. But I don't know. Yeah. I like Zabu now. If you have it, I mean, it's more of you get Zabu early and you can ramp stuff out, or you don't get Zabu early and then it's kind of a waste of a card. But it's those times that you get it, that you can, you get it early and get it down early, that you can snap, or that that you have something going. But Gwenpool's in there really just to add some power. I was running into more Shang-Chi at the very beginning, which is why I was trying to avoid Shang-Chi with this in a way that I didn't have to have Cosmo or armor. So.
Yeah, it's good. I like it. It's cool. It's got a little bit of spice to it. Valentina's a cool card that you don't really see too often, and it works well with the Luke Cage. Anti-Venom's just a fun as hell card. I love that card. And yeah, you're right. Zabu is awesome now. I kind of like, it's not I don't think it's the best card in the world, but with all these kind of decks, it's kind of nice to get to have a Zabu and get a 3 cost a Gwenpool, 3 cost Anti-Venom. 3 cost Typhoid, 3 cost any of these 4 drops. It's kind of great, actually. So yeah, I don't know. I like it. I mean, those are basically the Surtur decks.
This is a spicy take on it too. This is really cool and creative. I like that you got the Gwenpool, everything in here is the Valentina and the Luke Cage means that you're probably actually playing a 10. So then that discounts your Scar and pumps your Surtur like off a Valentina card, which is reduced, which is pretty cool. So I love all the synergies in here, and the dump on the last turn is like pretty cool idea. And we also saw like a lot of people are playing Moon Girl Surtur right now too. Kind of same idea, right? You Moon Girl and just shit a bunch of cards on the last turn. And Kid, I don't know if you want to pull that up too as well. It's probably worth.
Yeah, let's pull that up. Yeah, Tucker, the boy Tucker, cooked a nice slam deck. No big deal. Go through it, man.
Yeah, like Tucker got to rank 7 in the world. You go check out Tucker's Twitter. He got to rank 7. I'm sure he got to infinite really fast. But still, Tucker's a really good player. And like he's humble. He's humble, but he's actually really good at the game. So pretty sick that he came up with this deck. It's Wasp, Sunspot, Kitty, Hydra Bob, Hydration Robert, Titania, Black Swan, Shadow King, Hit Monkey, Hope Summers, Surtur, Moon Girl, She-Hulk. So same idea as what you were just saying, MSV. Is you're just trying to dump on the last turn. Hit Monkey's a 10 as well. And so you could, copy Hit Monkey for a couple 10s that way, or you're copying She-Hulk. And if you play on the Hope Summers lane, then that's a 6 energy skip. You skip, then you have free She-Hulks now. So you get really crazy, and obviously all the ones are free with Black Swan as well. So you get like 2 giant monkeys, you get 2 giant She-Hulks, and then obviously you play Surtur first. So you don't even have to play Surtur on 5. You could play Surtur on 6 as well. So just like really cool. And I mean, this deck, because I was scrolling Untapped, like you were saying, Kid, and this deck's metrics are crazy on Untapped right now. Like a lot of people are playing this. So I don't know if they picked it up off Tucker. I think maybe KX4N was playing it. I don't remember, but like this thing is like popping off right now. It's really, really cool take on the Surtur. Like this is a really fun take on it, and it gets absolutely cooked by the card Mobius.
Yeah, I think KX had a Surtur deck that was like more of like the classic one that he climbed to infinite. He might have played this after, but his had U.S. Agent and Luke Cage in his Surtur deck. He was like, no one's playing Shang. He's like, this is why I'm playing these cards, basically, just to help counter or whatever. But yeah, this one's a cool take. I haven't played this one yet either, but it looks cool. There's a lot of cool decks, man. People, like I said, people are like, they're kind of cooking with this card. It's kind of cool.
Yeah, Moon Girl got a buff,
Yeah.
I wish, I'm pretty excited for Hydration Robert. I don't have this card yet, but I'm actually real excited for him to come around whenever the hell he does. It'll probably be in like 3 months, but I'm pumped for that day.
I saw Desmond post this list, and this is a deck I played quite a bit of this season so far. The limited time that I played this season, but like this deck's really fun. Annihilus is back, and it's great. I haven't played this card in so long. So this deck is the Hood, Silver Sable, Spider-Ham, Zabu, Pixie, Cassandra Nova, Mobius, Shang-Chi, Misery, Sentry, Annihilus, and Cersei. It's just a nice Annie Sentry deck, with Cersei, and then you got Pixie in there for a little bit of flavor. You got Cassandra to take out the Irishman players and to cuck the Surtur boys. It's just a great deck, man. And then Zabu's awesome because like you were saying, SnapVariants, man. Like you get a 3-drop, you get a 3-cost Shang-Chi, 3-cost Sentry, 3-cost Misery in this deck. It's amazing, man. So this deck's just a lot of fun, a lot of disruption, and it's really cool.
Yeah, they did a good job on the Zabu change. I think Zabu just feels fair, but still pretty good. I was playing a lot of Zabu with the Storm decks when she moved her to 4, and it felt really nice.
Yeah. All right. Do we go to the infinite or the infamous Mr. Negative deck?
Well, look, I mean, if you want the spice, like, this is the spice. You gotta give it to the people.
All right, let's do. I'll just quickly, if you guys want to bounce move deck with Frigga, this one's pretty good.
If you want the better than Mr. Negative deck, and probably the best deck to play Frigga in, I think this is it.
And move's fun too.
This thing's insane.
Yeah, Aranya, Ghost Spider, Human Torch, Iron Fist, Dagger, Madam Web, Toxin, Doctor Strange, Falcon, Frigga, Vulture, and Beast. And Frigga works with like anything, man. You could play a Toxin, an Iron Fist to make another move, a Ghost Spider to make another move. If you make Human Torch big, like you could just Frigga the Human Torch back, Frigga Vulture. Like it's pretty sweet. And if you put them in Madam Web and then move them, then play Frigga, like they still get their buff, right? And it's still the last card you played. so it still works pretty damn good. But yeah, so and this, moving and bouncing cards is a lot of fun. This is a pretty cool list, and you can put up a lot of stats.
Even without Frigga, that's a pretty nice show. I haven't seen anybody playing this before.
Oh yeah,
But,
it's
man,
nice.
That's a really pricey deck, though.
Yeah, if you this can clap up the Surtur decks as well too. This can go over the top pretty easily. They don't have Killmonger, and they're not gonna. It's hard for them to Shang-Chi if they set up Cosmo and armor as well.
Right.
All right, let's get to the meat and potatoes here, as they would say. No big deal. The cook of the month. Go for it, man.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's a Mr. Negative deck. Let me say the list first. So yeah, Sunspot, Ravonna, Venom, Agent Venom, Cassandra Nova, obviously counters the Surtur, Sage, Wolfsbane, Magic, Frigga, Mr. Negative, Wong, oh baby, Pixel Wolfsbane, Wong, Iron Man, and then Taskmaster. So yeah, like it's pretty fun. The nice thing with this negative deck, and some of them are built like this, some of them aren't, is it's not like your traditional negative deck where I need Psylocke or Ravonna into negative, and if I get that, I snap. If I don't, retreat. This deck's not like that at all. There's a lot of ways you can open. So like Ravonna into Frigga is an opening you can do in this deck. Forget about the card Mr. Negative. Simply playing Agent Venom is an interesting thing to do. You play Sunspot and then you play Frigga. Sunspot, Ravonna, Frigga. Like that's a pretty interesting opening too. You have two Sunspots. Obviously that's a good like kind of cloning bats type of card. So there's a few ways you can open. Generally, you're either playing the Ravonna line or you're playing the Agent Venom line. But even sometimes even just Magic 3, Mr. Negative on 4 is also like a pretty good line. You get 3 negative cards. Obviously, you could copy them with Frigga. That's what we're trying to do here. And so even that. So there's a lot of play. You're not like, I either get the thing, I snap on 1 or 2, or I don't get it and I retreat. It plays totally different. It plays like an Agent Venom deck, this what it is. This is an Agent Venom deck mostly, right? But because obviously it works with Mr. Negative. All the cards are tiny. So what do we copy in with Frigga? Well, I find that Sage is like probably the best one. So you get like Wong Sage, and then you don't even have to have the Sage flipped. Like a lot of the time, like you can just copy Sage. Like sometimes I'll just play out like Wong on 4, Sage, and then just Frigga on 5. Like even just a normal like a 3/16. You just have a 3/16 Sage in your hand. That's not even flipped. But if it's flipped, then it's 0. You could play same turn as Frigga. Any of these cards that are 0, like Taskmaster, Iron Man, Sage, Cassie Nova, all these cards are like you could play them all same turn as Frigga. Also, Cassandra Nova into Frigga is really good. It's just really good. Like you play say you play Ravonna or Venom on 2, Cassie on 3, Frigga on 4. Like that's a great line. You get two Cassies off, like you're off to the races. So it's a really fun deck. It against the Surtur deck, they don't really have anything against this. Like maybe Shadow King, but you could play all 3 lanes. They can't Shadow King everything, and you could always hide behind their Cosmo, hide behind their armor, use their tech cards to your advantage. Just have to dodge the Cosmo with your Wong is the main thing. But if Wong gets flipped to a 2/4, that makes that a lot better. And then Taskmaster copies gigantic Frigga Sages, or you get these huge Wolfbane, like Wolfbane goes off twice, you Frigga it, you Wolfsbane again, then you could copy that with Taskmaster, or you could you get like a big Cassandra Nova sometimes, and a lot of time Taskmaster costs 0 as well, so you get like even a 15 power Cassandra Nova. It's nice to just play a 0/15 like that. That'll usually get the job done. So it's a really fun deck. Once Gore comes out, I'm thinking taking out Sunspot for Gore. Sunspot was also I don't think I was playing Havoc. I was playing a more traditional negative card. I forget which one it was, but I was playing Thena. Because Thena's a 0 power too now, these days. So they made her a Mr. Negative card too. But I ended up taking her out for Sunspot. She felt more consistent. Also Frigga Thena I thought was a thing. but it was rarely happening for me. So yeah, what do you guys think about this?
It's very unique because instead of usually you want to, I mean, you're spreading power. People throw in the Iron Heart or or the White Tiger and trying to get power across lanes. But this is like straight up. Like you're going, all your cards are about like going as high as possible in the lane. Mm-hmm. I think that's a really unique take on this.
I like what you can do with negative nowadays. I like that you could have like 3 plans almost. Like you could have a Ravona plan, which is nice, because all these cards work with Ravona basically. Agent Venom plan, which makes all the cards really good. And obviously your, not the Mr. Negative plan. Like it's pretty sick actually. It's great. I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna play it, and
Yeah. And the card, you bring up the multiple plans. The card Frigga, it feels like a nice alternative to the card Mystique in here, because obviously like you're happy to play it with Iron Man. Like if you get a 5/4 Iron Man with Venom or a 0/5, obviously that's a great card to copy. But Mystique only works with say Iron Man. Usually it's Iron Man and one. There's usually one other. Most Mr. Negative decks with play Mystique play 2 ongoing cards, but all the cards are good to copy with Frigga. Like there's like 2 or 3 cards you don't want to hit with Frigga. So she kind of always goes off in here.
I like the idea of you've set it up so that you either double Ravona so that at the end you can dump a lot of cards, right? Yeah. Or you just copy one of your negative cards at the very end or for the very end as well. I mean, I like the idea, even just as a Ravona card, even if this wasn't in negative, I like the idea of doubling Ravona and doing some like wild stuff on turn 6.
Yeah, it's like on curve, nice on curve play. It feels nice to double up Ravona. Yeah, you could do like Wong Sage Wolfsbane like pretty easily. If you have 2 Ravonas down, right? You're like you got a one cost Sage, 1 cost Wolfsbane. Like gets kind of crazy.
What are your other than Mr. Negative? Obviously, what are your snap conditions? What are you snapping on usually?
Sometimes a turn 2 Venom, but I usually will just see like Ravona into negative is a snap still. I think I always snap on Ravona into negative. But if I turn 2 Venom, I'll wait 1 or 2 turns to see what the board looks like and just snap. I'm more just playing it like a normal deck, like just snap when you think you have an advantage. And I would say it's important to snap before you Wong, before you Frigga, before you get a 22 power Sage. Like you need to snap before you play these cards, obviously. So I'm playing it less just more like an Age of Venom deck.
Have you had trouble with Wong because there's so much Cosmo in the meta right now? You'd think Wong would be dog shit right now.
Here's the thing. On the Surtur deck, they don't want to hold Wong till 4 or 5 ever.
Or Cosmo, you mean? Yeah.
Yeah, did I say hold Wong?
Yeah.
Hold my Wong. Hold my dick.
But the team on his back.
The way the deck curves out is they have to play a 10 on 4. They have to play a 10 on 5. So they have to play Scar plus like these decks never hold Cosmo. Like traditionally, normally in a Cosmo, like in a Sarah tech with Cosmo, the Sarah can always hold their Cosmo if they need to, right?
Yeah.
This is a tech deck. They're waiting and then they're playing accordingly. But the Surtur decks have to play on curve or else their deck doesn't work. So I've never had a trouble with that because I always see where the Cosmo is and you can hold your Wong. I actually did mean to say that, but I got ahead of myself. You just want to hold that's why Magic's so good in here. You could just play Wong on 5, right? By the time turn 5 comes around, you know where the Cosmo is, and you just play somewhere else.
That's pretty awesome.
Then Iron Man goes in the Cosmo lane, which is nice.
I love it. All right. Let's go into this segment because there's nothing to talk shit about, so we gotta find something to talk shit about. No Big Deal has perused through and parsed through Untapped to look at the least popular cards. We're gonna go through some of them. We don't have to go through 20 of them, but some of the most egregious ones maybe. And we're gonna talk. We're just doing this off the cuff too, and we didn't prepare anything. I don't even know what the fuck he's gonna say. I don't even know what the least popular cards are. I'm gonna be honest. We're gonna talk about. Yeah, we're just gonna talk about what we think can make them better, why they're so dog shit. So these are the dog shit tier cards, and no big deal. We're gonna try to make them better here. So what's the first one you want to start with?
Well, do you want to start with just quick, because I mean the idea is like we have like a pretty good meta right now. I mean, the Surtur deck's pretty crazy. We all talked about it. It'd be nice if they at the minimum moved them to a 3/4, but the card just came out. I'm not expecting a Surtur nerf anytime soon, so we kind of just got to live with that. What card do you guys want to go over nerfs first? Because I have a list of like 20 cards. I think they should probably buff, but like nerfs are kind of tricky. Like I put Agent Venom. I think should get a base power nerf. I think Shadow King should go back to 2/2. The stats on him are absolutely insane at a 2/3. And I think what I noticed, an interesting one, let's start with those two. What do you guys think about Agent Venom, Shadow King? Can we do a base power nerf to these cards, or what do you think?
Man, it's hard because Agent Venom, it just makes sense at the 4. I mean, it does. So, I don't know. It's not like you see anybody doing like Cerebro Agent Venom, but
yeah, we tried the C4. It's the C4 sucks. So I think it's okay. I think the 4 is good for his effect. I think if they put his effect to 3, then it's just like Bast.
No.
It's just like Valk, and it's boring, and I hate that. So I like that the effect is 4, but I think he doesn't need to be a 2/4. Like he should be a liability, in my opinion, on the board.
Yeah, stylistically, it makes it a little bit more. He's a 2/4, it makes everything 4. That's cool, but I think that like 2/4 like is a damn good card. I think you should only have a 2/4 if like you're in like a specialized deck like Colleen Wing kind of thing. Like she only is really good in discard. She's a 2/4. Yeah, I think making him a 2/3 is fine. It's hard because the meta is pretty good right now. So like, there's not a lot of cards that I think really need to be nerfed. Honestly, Agent Venom, sure, you could take a point of power off him. That wouldn't bother me. The only thing that would bother me about it is like that it's not a 4 and it's all 4s. It'd be like just OCD basically. And then Shadow King, that's a stupid one. It's like he should have never got fucking buffed in the first place. So like,
that's what I'm saying.
It's like just bring it back.
Same with LDS. Like they should have nerfed her.
It's like don't like nerf him, but like just do the right thing. Like it's not a nerf. Just unfix your fuck up.
Yeah,
that's my opinion anyway.
How many times has he gone back and forth? Hasn't he gone twice? Like, what was he? He was
a 4/4 on.
He used to be a 4, yeah.
No, he was like a 4/2, I think.
Yeah.
Release.
Oh, so maybe
Then when they, then he was a 3 at some point, but then at some point he was a 2/3, and then he was a 2/2, and then he get back to a 2/3, right? I mean, he has flip flopped quite a bit. I don't know. The thing is that those tech cards, they only come out like when the meta needs them, right? And I think my guess is that if they put him down again, then like people are going to be playing stuff against him, and people are not going to be playing Shadow King again. So to avoid that like back and forth, I mean, he keeps things down the same way that like Shang-Chi keeps things down.
Mm-hmm.
Like especially like when we went through that Gwenpool meta. I mean, that season just had a lot of like buffing, right? I mean, I don't know. Bounce can be super powerful, and like I'd rather them, instead of nerfing Bounce again, have something that like can eliminate Bounce or really hurt Bounce.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think he was fine at doing that at a 2/2. I don't know. I think they just buffed him for awareness because no one was playing it. Like, honestly, I don't think he was underperforming. Like, it's just an awareness buff that was like unnecessary, in my opinion. I don't know why they did it, but it's fine either way. Like, but I think he's just such a powerful card to make a 2/3. But, anyways,
yeah,
I don't know.
Well, yeah, go ahead, MSV.
I think you're absolutely right. He is too powerful, but I feel like he is a stopgap. He is.
Yeah.
He prevents that sort of like piling on Bounce style of deck from getting too powerful. Like there's if you run enough Shadow King, I mean the last thing you want is that to take up 30-40% of the meta, right? And then it gets so annoying that finally people start running Shadow King again.
Yeah, I guess the stopgap point is good. Like if it's all Bounce meta, they just want to shake things up, moving to 2/3, see what happens. I get that. But I think 2/2 kind of does the same job, like just as well. I think he was great at a 2/2. I don't like it when they get a card to a good spot and then they then they move it from the spot. Like it was great as a 2/2. Like it owns bounce as a 2/2. So yeah,
Okay, then
I don't
I
know.
have a question. What do you think about the ongoing counters like Enchantress and Rogue? How do you think they are right now?
I
No
think
bueno.
Rogue's fine. I think Rogue's okay how she is. I think Enchantress. I think they need to just. I think now's the time to put her back 4/6. Where when they first buffed her to a 4/6, but like that's before like that was like last year, like a year ago, before all this bullshit power creep.
We had old Zabu.
Um,
Yeah, we had old Zabu, and she was
Yeah.
a 4/6, which was insane.
like I think she's fine to go to a 4/6 now, honestly. And Rogue's okay. Like Rogue's what she's a 3/2 now,
Yep.
right? Yeah, she can be pretty powerful because she steals it, But I think Rogue's okay because even like in decks, like when there's a lot of ongoing, like I never felt like Rogue was underpowered when I played her. I felt like Rogue was great. So I think Rogue's probably fine. I think Enchantress is in need of a buff. Maybe we'll go over that. Maybe that's one of the cards
No,
that
no,
we go.
I didn't put any tech cards on here.
Oh, I think Enchantress can go up, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think the argument for Rogue getting a buff is the Red Guardian. That once Red Guardian came at 3/3 and could hit any type of card, then Rogue kind of like lost a lot of share in the meta. But I mean, I agree. I love Rogue, even though I haven't played her in quite a while. I do love Rogue, but I don't know. I do think that maybe ongoing has that gap. Like we don't really have strong tech cards enough to like run them on a normal basis. So that's where you can get that like that like what is it? That Iron Man sort of meta that we had with Agent Venom. I feel like that was the real problem, not his power, but like everyone runs Iron Man and nobody's running the tech cards against Iron Man.
Yeah.
And the Iron Man Mystique thing.
Yeah, I think in as far as I can tell, and this is just my opinion. I think that like the reason for that is because ongoing decks and metas tend to be not as good as like all the on reveal and point slam shit. So like
Yeah.
like Shang-Chi and like Shadow King are just like way better than Rogue and Enchantress just because like those cards get so much more oppressive. But like if there's like a big ongoing meta, like Rogue and Enchantress can be like dog shit cards. They're just gonna shut it down because like you gotta they get screwed, right? Like I don't know.
Yeah.
That's kind of like how I feel. Like the ongoing aren't so oppressive. The decks aren't so oppressive. That's just like the tech cards don't need to be as good. Maybe that's the reason. I don't know. That's just the way I see it. But yeah, I wouldn't be mad if Rogue got a buff. Like she is like a 3/2 is kind of shit, But so like if you made her a 3/3, like give her the electro treatment, I wouldn't be mad. But I think she's okay as well too.
I think you bring up an interesting point there, MSV, because I didn't give too much thought into the tech cards. I mean, the kid messaged me like 20 minutes before the pod, like, oh, we could do like a buff or nerf wish list maybe, and so I started scrolling Untapped and finding stuff. So the tech card, I didn't include any of the tech cards because to your point, they all kind of pop up, when the meta calls for them, right? So like
Yeah.
I think Cosmo's a great example of that. I mean, Cosmo's kind of irrelevant for like a year probably. Like I don't remember Cosmo being this good since Shuri Red Skull days. Like that was the last time I saw Cosmo at this rate, and I felt like it was always an interesting inclusion into your deck. Like you could throw a Cosmo in there, but it was never like Cosmo's insane right now, right? So and it was insane in the last like the bounce meta too. Like I mean Cosmo's been crazy in the move meta. Cosmo's great. So Cosmo's just kind of popped up, and that card didn't get changed at all. It's always been a 3/3, right? So I think maybe Ench to a 4/6. What do you think, MSV? Do you think they should move Rogue to a 3/3?
I think that either Rogue or Enchantress. I think that they need to have one of them which like has a little bit higher, power. I mean, what we need one of them that gives the sort of thing that Shadow King is doing right now, which is it's a little bit overpowered, right? That both like it really stinks to put Enchantress in your deck and not be able to use it anywhere for a 4/5, right? I mean, Surtur is a 3/5 and it has no downside, right? I mean, to do a 4/5, it's heavyweight, and the same with Rogue. Unless you're in an ongoing meta, you don't use them. I mean, a 3/2 is it's rough. I mean, I think Cosmo might be like the best balanced tech card because like out of all of them, Cosmo's probably the most powerful. I mean, okay, sorry, Shang-Chi is the most powerful because so much goes over time, right? But beyond that, Cosmo is the most powerful and most well balanced. Like you can shut down so many decks with just one card with Cosmo. But if you're not playing a deck that if you're not playing against somebody that Cosmo affects, it's dead weight, right?
Yeah. No, that's a good point. Okay. So that's some good thoughts on AV and Shadow King. The reason I brought Shadow King, like I said, these I only brought 3 nerf cards, but they're all over 20% play rate, absurd win rates that are even with the botflation, just totally ahead of all the other cards like Agent Venom, Shadow King. I mean, Surtur is like the top one right now. He's like number 1. Okay, yeah. And Shang-Chi's really good right now. Go figure. Okay, because it's the Surtur meta. So, but I mean, Shang-Chi was not played a month ago, but now Shang-Chi's crazy right now. This one I found kind of interesting. What do you guys think about this? Nico Minoru. Is it time to take a power off Nico Minoru?
No.
Make her a one?
Nope.
In the most popular Surtur deck right now, it's got like 38,000 games. Fucking Nico's in there. Like, Nico has no business being in these Surtur decks. I think it just might be a little too much power creep on the 1-drops. Obviously Hydration Robert, but like he's dog shit at a 1/4, but then he's just really good at a 1/5. So I kind of get the conundrum there, but I don't think Nico needs to be a 1/2. I think we can move her down to a 1/1. Her stats are nutty right now, and it makes no sense. It's not there. These are not Nico decks. They're not a Thanos deck. They're not Destroy decks that she synergizes really well. It's just this is the best 1-drop in the game. We're just gonna fucking put her in. And so I find Nico's kind of cracked right now, and always has been, really.
I think you make a good point. I mean, that like Nico shouldn't be in those decks. I mean, I guess that the Nico really is in those decks just as a utility knife, right? As the ability to double a card or to change a location, right? But I don't know. I mean, the problem I could see, like, you'd have to change Nico fundamentally, though, like the doubling her power. Like, I don't think that as a 1, that's just going to be a crapshoot. I mean, it's not going to do anything.
Yeah, it's a dead spell out of 1 power. That's a good point. Yeah,
but
that's why Kid doesn't want to change it because it'll kill Phoenix Force.
I think that it works because
I'll kill you.
Because of the RNG, right? I mean, there's so much RNG on that card that you can't get it. You can't get exactly what you want every time. I think that's why it works as a 1/2, or why it passes. I think, but I don't know. It's also a really high skill card. I mean, I mean, how many times have you gone against someone that uses Nico for something just unnecessary or silly? Like you really have to be careful with what you use her for to get the best benefit out of it.
Okay, let me say quick Marvel Snap variants because that's a really good point. The double kills the card. So let me propose a nerf, Kid. Tell me what you think about this nerf. Okay, right. We add a spell, -1 power to this card. What do you think about that? As a Nico nerf.
See.
No.
Bro,
I think the card is.
She's the best 1-drop in the game.
I like her. Leave her alone.
She always has been since release. She's been the best 1-drop in the game. She's never
She's like maybe if you want to maybe if you want to add a different spell just to make 8 spells, but not a shitty spell, like a decent one. But then you have 8, then there's more variation. But like I think it's okay. I think it's fine.
I did not know she was the best 1-drop in the game. I thought that like Silver.
That's his opinion.
Okay.
Is that your opinion or is that stats?
Stats.
Oh, she's the best 1-drop in the game right now?
Sable's up there too. Sable's right there with her. So yeah. But yeah, her and Sable are insane. And Hydration Robert's sick too. But yeah. She's the best. She's been the best since release. And the numbers on her are she's like 20% play rate, 65% win rate. Like it's insane. Yeah. And she shouldn't be in the Surtur deck. I mean, it's ridiculous that she's the optimal card there.
I would bet you that if more people had Sable, that Sable would be above that, because Sable does not require much thinking. It's an easy 1/3 with a possible 1/5 if they play their card, right? I mean, and with like 0 drawbacks.
I'm down to also nerf Sable, by the way, because that card's insane. Yeah, really good against big dumb idiots too. If you hit a 10.
Yeah.
I'm against the Nico nerf. I like her how she is. That's all I got to say.
I think we should add a spell. But okay, so it was a good. We could add a spell +1 to this and the last card you played, something like that. Like you said, kid. Maybe it doesn't have to be shit, but yeah. Add a spell. Add 1 Vibranium to your deck. How about that? There's something. There you go. Then that's like a pretty big nerf, right? Just add a Vibranium to your deck.
Why the fuck would you do that? Is it add a good spell, not a bad one?
Well, just because it's it's like a 13% less chance to get draw 2. That's why.
You're adding shit to your deck. No.
Yeah, but it's a Vibranium. Anyway, okay.
So wait for Nico though. I read this and I don't know if it's true. I haven't investigated it yet, but supposedly that Nico makes a sound. There's a sound effect at the beginning of the game. I always play without sound usually.
Yeah.
But there's a sound effect that having Nico in your deck will make, and that will tell you what she's at, what in the rotation, and so then you can know what she is in the deck at any point. I mean, it's a little bit too big brain for me, but
no. It's only on the first. You only know what her first spell is going to be. You never know what all the other spells are going to be. So after the first location, shows, like after the first location reveals, you hear one of Nico's sounds, and and each spell that she has a unique sound. So wherever she is in your deck, it's going to play a sound after the first location reveals. And then based on that sound, you know what her first spell is going to be. So you know when you draw her, or if she already in your hand, you can just look at it. But you know that if you draw her, you're going to get the draw 2. You're going to the destroy and draw 2. The change the location. Like you know what she's going to be. But you only know the first one. You don't. There's no way to tell
Yeah, I forgot it's not a rotation.
what the next one's going to be or anything like that. Like there's no rotation. It's all random. But
So
yeah, Husky Puppies has a video on that on YouTube. It's pretty sick, actually.
So do you use this technique when you play Nico?
I have, yes. I don't usually because I if I'm playing Phoenix Force and tryharding, then I will. But if I'm just playing randomly, I don't try that hard, But if you play Nico enough, you get to know the sound effects anyway. So you kind of just know if the first location reveals, Nico's in your deck, and you're like, wow, 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 that's the change location or whatever. So
question mark, yeah.
Yeah. So that's what it's gonna be. You just It's just once you know that you can do that, it just kind of you automatically start paying attention to it, I guess,
Yeah.
The kid is a PF spammer, so he's played a lot of Nico. Okay, so let's do it like this, okay? I'm going to read 20-ish of the least popular cards in all Marvel Snap. These are all 1% or lower play rate, and it's my opinion that literally all of these cards need a buff, okay?
Wait, but guess.
The kid, I'll throw it to you after this, and tell me what kind of stands out to you and what maybe if you have ideas for a buff, okay? But let me just read them all because...
Wait, he wants to guess. He wants to guess.
What?
Guess 5 of them. Guess 5 of them. Guess 3 of them right now.
Maybe I bet we could guess kind of what's on there.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Want to start like that then? Want to try guessing?
Just guess 3 of them or something.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Uatu. I would imagine is on there.
Yep.
Howard the Duck.
No, I didn't see Howard. Yep.
Wow, I'm surprised that gets so much play.
Mojo's in here though, so that's by proxy.
What's his face? What's the one that turns your card into a 6, or your opponent's card into a 6 cost?
Baron Mordo.
Yeah, Baron Mordo.
Yep,
he's probably there. I'm gonna be right back. You guys keep guessing. 1 sec.
Yep.
Oh, that was my 3. All right, I'll keep going.
You got them. You got them all. So okay, which one of those? Do you have any passion for fixing any of those cards, MSV?
Yes. I don't know. The Baron Mordo update that they made no sense to me. Like,
I agree. Yeah.
it didn't improve his play at all. For me, I think that okay. Another thing I don't understand is why don't they reveal the card? I mean, when Spider Ham came out, right? That reveal was like one of the best parts of Spider Ham. You got to see what got nerfed, but this is like it's invisible. It doesn't even feel good when you play it. I mean, even if it was good, it doesn't feel good when you play it because you have no idea what got the cost.
It's true. It's got the Iceman mystery to it. I think that's a good point. I think there's a lot they missed on Baron Mordo. That is a really cool one that I didn't even think about, MSV, is that, if it showed the card, that would actually make it really fun to play. You add some fun to it, like Spider-Ham. Another thing is, this is a no-brainer 2-4. This should be a fucking 2-4. It's ridiculous that he's a 2-3. And another one is, why does it say, why did they add the caveat in the effect when they changed this effect to the top card of your opponent's deck costs 6 until turn 6? Why does it say until turn 6? What are we doing? Why is it free? Why does it go back to its normal cost? Just make it cost 6. Like, Spider-Ham turns it into a pig. The pig doesn't revert back to its original form on turn 6. Imagine if they did that with Spider-Ham. This card is a pig until turn 6. It's fucking ridiculous. Iceman, increase this card's cost until turn 6. Like, what are we doing? I mean, this is a joke. So it should show it. I love that. Show the card, make this a 2-4, and make it stay until turn 6. So, like, if you hit a 6 cost, that's your low roll. You bricked, right? Because you might hit a 6 or a 5, and maybe it doesn't matter. But, if you hit a 1 to 4, then you actually did something. So, I mean, I don't know what the fuck they were thinking with this change. That's a good one to bring up. So I'm happy you did.
That's a good one. I like that. I like all those changes too, actually.
I would be happy with just showing it, and part of that is that, like, then you know what's in their hand turn 6. You know what is going to be discounted turn 6. Like, that information, we don't have a card that's like, hey, what is the card that, what's a card in your hand that you're pulling right now, other than Spider-Ham. I mean, I think it's worth it to just have that information that they might be playing at turn 6. But anyway,
yeah. I mean, maybe, but I agree. I want it to show as well. I think it's a great idea. I still don't think it'll see play if they just show it. I think he needs a little bit more. I think they should eliminate until turn 6.
You're right.
And let me see what I hit, and then I could, if I hit something key, I could snap or something.
Yeah. You should be able to snap on that card, and there's no way you can.
Yeah, the same way you do with Spider-Ham. Same thing. Oh, Spider-Ham, I hit Dracula. Great, snap. All right. It's like. We just don't have that. So, yeah, Baron Mordo is a good one. Okay, Kid, you want to guess? Because MSV guessed 3, and he got all 3 right.
Here's one. Mantis, most dog shit in the game.
Yep.
I don't know what the hell they're doing with that card.
She's number 1 on my list.
Yeah, let's be honest.
Really? Was she number 1? Like the least card played?
Yeah, these are least played, but all have terrible win rates too. They're all like 1% played, horrible win rates.
Yeah, even the people with no cards don't even want to fucking play her. That's so bad.
All these are starter cards. Even the pool 1 kids are not playing these. I checked. Nobody's playing this shit.
M'Baku's probably on there, if I had to guess. Yeah. And then, what's another just shit card? I mean, they're never gonna. I don't think they're ever gonna change the vanilla cards. I think Glenn said that, so I won't talk about any of those.
I put the thing / shocker on here, as two that they really should change. I think.
Yeah.
I think the thing and shocker specifically are pretty easy. You could bump their power up; it wouldn't do anything. It'd be fine.
I have one that I don't think is one of the least played, but I think should be buffed, like rebuffed. Sentry.
Yeah, I actually wrote down Sentry as the last card on here. I actually put Sentry. Okay. So what do you what do you think they should do? What do you think? 9/9 kid? Want to try that out or what?
9 or 10. I don't mind either one. Mm-hmm. Like I think that meta where he was a 10 causing huge problems. I think we're done. Like they nerfed him because the Nihilist, that shit was like broken and it was like just taking over everything. I think that we're done with that kind of phase of this game. I think he can easily go back to a 10. I'm fine with him going at least to a 9. An 8 feels like shit.
Yeah, the stats on Sentry are really bad. So
Yeah.
I agree. I think at the minimum they should put
Like when you make Misery a 4/8 and Doctor Octopus a 4/8, and they have like arguably much better effects. Like Sentry, if you don't draw Nihilus or something to get rid of the Void, you're kind of fucked, right? Like, so like it's like there's a big downside. Like you need to get rid of that Void. So like he needs to be more than a 4/8, I think. Like I think it's 4/10. I think he's fine at a 4/10 and with a -10 Void, to be honest. But
I agree.
I would be fine with the 4/9.
Yeah, I don't want him to be 4/9. He needs to be 4/10 because he needs to be shangable. I mean, if he gets out of control, that's like the good part of having a 4/10, having him at 4/10. 4/9, I think, is like too much of a buff.
I'd rather him be a 10. Back to where he was. I think he was
10
fine.
is more fun. It's a more fun card. It has a higher ceiling. You're sending over a -10 Void, so it can represent more power overall. I like it. You guys. I think. And
he works with Surtur. You can make an Annihilus Sentry Surtur deck.
Yeah, they nerfed Annihilus pretty heavily too. I mean, they've nerfed a lot of the cards in that deck. I mean, White Widow. Like White Widow's a massive nerf to that deck too. So. Yeah.
Does anybody play White Widow anymore?
I've tried to cope with it. Like last week, I brought up a Clog deck. You could play it with armor. You got to play it with armor. That's really what it comes down to. If you don't get armor,
okay. It's just like an okay card now. Like it's all right. You force them to kind of play in that lane, but it had a fall from grace. Like it's used to be the best 2-drop in the game. Now it's like, underwhelming 2-drop. I mean, what about this card, Mantis? Let's talk about Mantis. Like, what the hell can they do with this card? Like, make it a 1/7? Even then, I wouldn't play it.
First thing I want to say is this card, Drax, Groot, and Gamora all need a buff, in my opinion. I think with Drax, Groot, and Gamora, you could just do a straight power buff. So again, I've always said, just make the ceilings high on these cards when you actually get the read. Just like Groot should be a 3/9 when he hits. Like, so even if he's 3/3 and then he just goes to a 3/9 when he hits, you're not gonna break the game with 3/3 +6 Groot. Like
Surtur's a 3/14 right now.
Yeah, like Surtur far surpasses that. So I mean, you could play speed to get like a 3/7, 3/8 every time. So if Groot goes to a 9 when he rolls properly, it's fine. And same with Drax, Gamora. It's just these guys need way more power when they get the read. Mantis, I don't know. MSV, do you have any ideas on how to fix the freaking Mantis card?
I mean, wait, what was it before? Like before she got the big overhaul?
I was shit before too.
She was a 2/3 at one point. I think with the same effect. She was 2-drop at one point with the same effect. They put her down to a 1.
It stole from your opponent's deck. This was a mill card before. It was different. It was steal.
Oh yeah, it's like the top card. You got like the top card or something, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
like I think the most obvious first thing they could do is get rid of play any cards here. Just if your opponent played a card, you copy the last card they played into your hand. Copy the last card your opponent played this turn into your hand.
There you go, a little 1-cost Frigga, but your opponent's card. I like it.
Yeah, but it goes in your hand or something. You shouldn't have to pick. You shouldn't have to This is such a shit effect with such a you have to actually mind read your opponent for a shit effect. That's horrible.
Yeah.
And shit stats. The stats are shit too. 1/2 is horrible.
Yeah. Or it should just be if your opponent played any cards here, copy the last card to your side of the board even.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's what it should be, honestly.
Yes, I agree with that. I mean, it would be meta. It would be great.
Good.
I mean, and then if it's too powerful, okay, then nerf it, or make it a 2-cost, make it a 3-cost, make it a 3/4, make it a 3/5. That would be a really awesome. It's like a
leader.
Guess. Yeah, it's like leader. It's like a 1-cost leader, but you have no idea what you're gonna get. I guess it's the same. I mean, how is this any different than leader then?
Well, no, leader is the highest cost card. This should just be the last card your opponent played.
And you have to guess the lane too, right? So
yeah,
you're right. Leader wasn't. Yeah, that was that weird time where leader had you guessed it, and then it was to the left. And
Mhm.
man, I really like the idea of Mantis. If you could like copy the card that was played in that lane, or one of the cards, even the lowest
Yeah.
cost card
Yeah.
that was played in that lane, that'd be amazing.
That's what I was just gonna say. I was like, make it different than leader, make it lowest cost card, make it a soul read mini leader almost. Pretty cool.
Yeah, that's a really cool effect. And another thing you could do as well that we've seen work, we've already talked about it on this pod, MSV, your deck, Valentina effect, you know? So if that's too broken, you could give it -3 or something, you know? That like if it wasn't just lowest, like if you wanted to go a different direction, just copy the last card they played, give it -3. We've seen with Valentina, I mean, you get 6 drops, you start putting -3 on them, they kind of suck, right? So
Yeah.
that's a little more chaotic. I think I like your guys better. Just do the lowest one.
Yeah. All right. We fixed Mantis. Second dinner. Take note.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I think we just fixed a few cards. Baron Mordo, Mantis. I mean, we're fixing the game, guys. We're saving Marvel stuff.
Yeah. All right. Let's talk about M'Baku. This is a 1/2 at the end of the game. This jumps from your deck to your lowest power location that isn't full. I mean, this just needs angel treatment, right? Like just deck or hand.
And a power. I give it a point of power too. I give him a 1/3.
I'll do either one then. Make him a 1/3 and keep the text how it is, or keep him a 1/2 and make him go from your hand or your deck.
I think 1/3 is a little too powerful. I mean, unless they kept the one. I mean, unless you keep the exact same text, like both of those together is a little too much. Right?
No. Start with one. Start with either you give him a point of power and leave him how he is, or make him in the hand or deck and keep him a 1/2. Start with that.
I really like the idea of if it comes from your hand as well, because sometimes he just jumps in a place that messes things up. Like he'll jump into the lane if you have the lowest power wins. What's that?
Bar with no name.
Yeah, bar with no name. I mean, there are times where you do that. M'Baku can ruin things for you. So.
Oh yeah.
Having him come from your hand makes a lot of sense. And then there are times you're just going to end up playing him anyway. So, but it would just make things more exciting. Like M'Baku is an exciting, fun card.
Yeah.
Like there's nothing like when he like jumps out and like you get a win. Even, like if somebody beats me with M'Baku, I am excited, right?
Touche.
Like,
Yeah.
This just makes things more fun. I mean, they should make it more accessible to play him.
Yeah, and if he's too broken that way, then just make him a random location like Makari.
But he is the random location. Oh no, he's not. I see. I forgot. Even with the buff, I forgot. Yeah.
Yeah, because he's still shit.
It's the lowest power. Yeah.
All right. M'Baku needs some love. No big deal. Next card. Let's go.
Okay. Well, let me just read them all, and then
all right, read them all.
I'll go quick, and then Kid, if there's any of them that speak to you that you feel emotionally, you have some ideas for or something, then we'll go to that one next. So yeah, I put Drax, Groot, Gamora, Mantis. I mean, absolute joke what they've done. Even Star-Lord, you could throw him in there. What they've done with the Guardians, absolute disgrace. But did a great job on Rocket Raccoon. I think Rocket Raccoon's a sweet card, and they did an awesome job with that card. So
yeah.
Yeah, I'm not memeing there. I love what they did with Rocket Raccoon. I think that card's sick now.
Yeah.
And I think he should stay exactly how he is. So, okay, Rescue, okay? Rhino, Adam Warlock, Domino. We saw a Domino deck today, so shout out to Voltron. Yeah, Star-Lord, Baron Mordo, MSV, Orca / Namor. I mean, what are we doing?
I've had ideas on those for a while. I think those should be like can't be destroyed kind of thing.
Luna loves okay, I thought that was your dog.
No, it wasn't my dog.
Like Luna loves Orca and Namor. Okay, Mojo, Jessica Jones, Angel, White Queen. Jesus Christ.
White Queen. I've had my idea for White Queen for a while. Just make her a 4/4, steals the highest cost card in your opponent's hand. Just take it out of the hand, snatch it.
OG Big Dumb Idiots card, Warpath, Punisher, obviously, Leader. I have Leader in here. Leader's down bad right now. Mr. Fantastic, the Thing / Shocker, Uatu, MSV, you said that one. Colossus, okay, freaking Colossus. M'Baku. Omega Red is on here. Omega Red is down bad in the stats right now. So I think with him you could just do a power buff, maybe just +4 to each one. I think honestly, Omega Red you just move the numbers up and he'd be totally fine. Celine I thought was interesting. Celine would be, and they love hitting Series 5 cards. So maybe give Celine a little something extra, a little maybe -4, who knows. Destroyer kind of sucks, even though they changed him. Agent 13 and America Chavez. So what do you guys think? What are you thinking, kid? All those cards. I mean, we talked about White Queen. Any of them?
White Queen. I like the 4/4 steal the highest cost card. I don't know. I think that's a cool change. Man, you know what card needs to be changed? And I think you kind of mentioned it before. Rhino. Yeah. What are they doing with that card? Is it 3/3? They just released a 3/14. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
They like literally just released a 3/14
yeah.
for the season pass card, and this Rhino is like a 3/3. Just makes things the ruins. Like no RNG. It's just like, it's a consistent get rid of a bad location. But like, man, he could be a 3. He could be a 2-drop. Man, he could be a 3/4. He could be a 3/5, and still probably not see play. Like honestly,
you can't make him a 2-drop because of Scarlet Witch.
Witch,
yeah.
But as a 3, I think you have to have that 3, but he could use a power. I mean, really, a 3/4 is not going to break anything. And maybe
I don't even know if he'd be. Would he be played as a 3/5? Like, would he even be played as a 3/5?
I would
3/5 maybe.
Absolutely. I mean, just the amount, like the second that like Magic becomes meta, like he's perfect, right? Like the reason people don't run Scarlet Witch as much is because sometimes you get messed up. I mean, she can really screw things up.
Yeah.
That RNG. I mean, he Rhino really like smooths everything out.
Yeah,
you know
he's
exactly what's gonna
happen. Yeah. Rescue's another one. Where what? She ends up being like she's a 4/10 now, right?
She's a 4/9.
They didn't buff her? I thought they buffed her a while ago.
Yeah, they buffed her so she'd become a 4/9, I believe.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Rescue.
What is she?
Yeah.
The 4s.
4/4 right there. Yeah, you're right on her.
Yeah.
You were just on it. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Man. I think they maybe make her like a base 4/6 and +4 power or something like that.
I don't know, man. She needs more power. I mean, Jessica Jones needs more power too. It is what it is. Drax needs more power. They waste all their time side grading Spider-Ham 50 times. You want to side grade Beast 50 times. You got all these cards just sitting on the waste bin. Forgotten cards of Marvel Snap, and let's get these guys some love. Let's do it. They've done it with a lot of other cards, so got to give them credit for that. Even Namor, they tried buffing Namor. It's not enough.
I thought about Rescue a while ago. I think the real problem is that you get a 4/9, but you broadcast where you're going to play next, and that's huge, right? What I would kind of like is for Rescue to be more like Nebula. So he gets Rescue gets +5 if your opponent doesn't play a card on the other side, like just a one-turn thing instead of like Nebula where it's every turn. Because then you can strategically use Rescue for things. Like you can strategically use it. Mantis, right? But I mean, you can strategically use Rescue in the Guardians decks or anything to know that your opponent's going to play their next turn. Because that 5 powers, I mean, that's big.
Yeah, that's a cool idea. I think even instead of just a 5 power, make it a 4/6 and +4 power. That way you're not getting so punished by playing a 4/4. Like, if someone plays a 4/4, like on my turn 5, like I'm happy to play in that lane. Just to that's a huge punish. You're getting a leech out there. It doesn't do anything.
Well, I was gonna say 4/4, and then if they don't play here, +8. This should be a 4/12 if they don't play there. I think that's reasonable, honestly.
Or that, yeah, or that.
Yeah.
But she's not a guardian, so.
Well, Guardians don't have +8.
I know. But in your world, they would.
yeah, definitely. In if you're trying to actually balance your game, yeah.
Yeah. That's a cool idea. I like that. SnapVariants. It's a sick idea, man.
But you guys, I mean, you play with Gamora. I think that's the only Guardian other than Nebula I play with, right?
Yeah, I would just give Gamora 1 power, honestly. I think she's just 1 too low.
Yeah, I can see
You
that.
make her 5'9" +4. I think she's fine.
Rescue to be like Nebula is a cool idea. One time, if your opponent doesn't play here, plus some amount of power, I think that's a really cool idea.
That's a cool.
Because you're right. Then you could play you could just play Gamora on her lane then, because they're going to try and play. You could just play cards like that. That's pretty cool, actually. Or like a Negasonic, if you're if you have priority.
it gives her a combo, right? That is useful. Right now, what would you combo her with? There's no reason that you put her in anything right now.
Not Prof X.
Yeah, it used to only be Prof X, and even then that was like super niche, right? Not too many people were playing that. Yeah, that was never like a meta thing, but that's where people would play her. Yeah, no, it's a great idea, and I've echoed this point before on this pod, but I would love it if Guardians were an actual deck. I mean, they already have the cards in the game. So, if they just made them good, that would be a really cool, interesting, fun archetype that we've never gotten to play with because the cards are so dog shit. Mantis, Drax, Groot, Gamora, Rescue, Punisher. Punisher is an interesting card that would be good with Guardians. You put Punisher in your Guardians deck, they have to play there. Yeah, but if they play there, now he gets more power, So Punisher got +2 for every opponent card. Hey, now you can play Punisher in a Guardians deck. It's like, you could build this really cool, interesting deck that we have all the cards in the game to make it. They don't want to buff them. Like they're just terrible cards with low numbers.
Speaking of terrible cards with low numbers, turn our attention to this card they've buffed a few times. Uatu, the Watcher. Man, I don't know. At least they finally it shows all the locations. Fucking been saying that since release of the game. And surprise, it's not busted. What do you even do with this card? What do you even do?
How busted is it to see your opponent's opening hand? Is that crazy?
Yeah.
Maybe not start of the game, but maybe. What if it's something like this? On reveal the leftmost 3 cards of your opponent's hand. That doesn't sound that crazy.
That's fine.
Then he's watching.
I mean, the problem is that the snap is so important to this game. I mean, 3 cards might be your entire hand. Maybe it would have to be 1 card.
But then you have to put Uatu in your deck, and you actually have to play Uatu.
Exactly. Right. Yeah, you have to put the 1/2 shit card in your deck. Then you have to play it. Then you have to reveal their hand, and then they still have another turn to plan around that. It's delayed a turn. I mean, I don't know. Something.
I really like this idea. I really like this idea. It's kind of like Daredevil. Maybe you make Uatu 2/2. It's just like Daredevil, and instead of you see what they play, you see what's still left in their hand. 1 card that's left in their hand. Because that 1 card might be the only card, right? Then you are seeing their whole hand. But you need that little bit of RNG for if they have 4 cards that you see the card that you really need to snap on, right? Or that that you're gonna that you're gonna beat them.
All right, no big deal. Says 3 cards. You say 1 card. We'll meet in the middle. Shows 2 random cards. 2 random cards in the hand.
Yeah, I like it. It should be random. I think that's good.
Two random cards. Yeah, I like it.
That's pretty sweet. Yeah.
That'd be fun. That'd be a fun, interesting card, right?
Yeah.
That'd be really hype, actually.
Yeah, and then maybe they can make a better location kind of card. But yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah, they could buff Rhino, and then they can.
Yeah, exactly. What's another really egregious one?
Kang. Why have we not buffed Kang yet?
No big deal.
Yeah, Kang is definitely. Yeah, I didn't mention him, but Kang is the bottom 2 in the game right now. I would prefer they delete this guy out of the game and just refund everybody their 6K or their spotlight key that they spent. So that's my preference. But if you guys have ideas for Kang, I thought Guest had a really sick idea for this card, but I wish I could remember what it was. Guest came up with a sick idea. Oh, his was it was some rewind time or something, go back a turn or something like that. Like you reverse everything and go back to the last turn or something like that. But I don't know. It made sense. Like it was balanced and stuff. But what do you guys think about Kang?
My fix is easy. I'll let you go after this. Not very sorry. I don't want to cut you off, but I think it's just I think try him a little bit less power, like maybe energy, like maybe 3 energy, and cut his animation in by 1/10, by cut it into 1/10 of the time, because the animation's a little bit egregious. But yeah, I think make him a 3/0 and see, just try something. I don't know. There's a lot more fancy and eloquent ones, but that would be where I start. Just try and keep it simple. What do you think, man?
Exactly the same. I mean,
Oh, nice.
I bought Kang first day with 6,000 tokens back a long time ago, right? And that was I couldn't. That was right before Thanos became meta, and it took me forever to finally get enough tokens to get Thanos. While he was just being crushed and crushed and crushed, and then they nerfed him. So, Kang prevented me from having Thanos. So, I really want him back. I really want some card. I really want them to do something with Kang. I think that the 3 would be amazing, because then half the time, basically, you get an extra card, right? I mean, you get an extra draw. If you play him on the turn that you get him, then you get a free card. So, it would be great. That would give you I don't know, some percentage chance that you get that free draw. Right now at 5, it's silly, right? I don't know. The problem, as you said, is the animation is ridiculous. I mean, I don't even want to sit through the animation, let alone have it be meta and have to sit through that animation so many times that everyone's playing it, right? They would really have to get rid of it. They'd have to cut a bunch of it out. Give you only 3 seconds or 2 seconds to see the board, and then flip it back.
And I would say if you made his cost low, because obviously he'd make him a way better card, get rid of the mechanic that he can revert snaps, so you can't scam stuff. Get rid of that. I never liked that to begin with. You can just scam cubes for a snap, and if people like that, that's fine. But I think that if he's a lower cost, that would get too ridiculous. I don't know. Whatever.
I mean, that was the only reason to ever play him. And then sometimes you'd lose that 8 cubes because they play a different hand or something, right? So
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I hate this card. This is my most hated card in all Marvel Snap. I absolutely hate this card. The main reason is the animation. That's the reason why I hate it.
Yeah.
So if they fix that, I would like it a lot more. But I just think, a card that inherently makes the game take longer. The whole appeal of Marvel Snap, it's literally in the name. Snap, it goes fast in a snap. And yeah, I mean, this card goes against all principles of Marvel Snap. So I hate it. And I'd like it if they deleted it and refund everybody their 6K.
I love it. All right, let's do one more.
Okay.
Choose one. Which one's really egregious for you guys?
I mean, we've talked about Colossus before on here.
Do you have one SnapVariants that you'd want to change? Any card in the game?
I think Kang is really my big one. I really want it. So I think no big deal. You haven't picked one yet, have you? I think you should
pick one. No big deal.
I mean, okay. I'll say. Okay, I think Agent 13 is really bad, but I think it's a stat issue. I think Colossus being a card would be cool. MSV's had a lot of cool ideas. I know me and the kid have talked about maybe you could make him like a 5/9 or something, can't be destroyed. I don't know, 5/10. You could increase his power, but he is an iconic character, Colossus. He's in the old arcade games. I think he's in there. So Colossus is he's a classic. This card is horrendous. I mean, this is horrible. I think if you put him to a 2/4, he probably still not great, honestly. So I think the card just needs a rework. And I mean, it would be nice if like you're a new player playing Marvel Snap, you have actual cards that you could put in your deck and they do something, you know. This card does absolutely nothing, you know, and I think it'll turn people off playing the game and, you know, make them want to quit the game rather than like, oh, I put my Colossus down. So I actually don't hate his effect. Can't be destroyed, moved, or have his power reduced. It's a pretty cool effect. I think we gotta pump the numbers up. I'd like it if he was a 5 personally, 5 cost.
Yeah, I think 5'9" or 5'10" even would be cool. Yeah, because he's Colossus, he's a big boy. You know, let him be a big beefy boy. It's great. I love that idea. I think 5'9", 5'10" even. Fun fact: this was my first variant ever in the game. This one right here.
Wow.
So yeah. Anyways, go ahead, SnapVariant. Sorry.
No, it's fine. That the Colossus where there's like the fire behind him, I think it's Kale, was the first variant that I spent gold on. Like
Oh,
the
nice.
first super rare variant I bought. Anyway, I know because you play Colossus so much when you are first starting out. I like the idea of him being bigger because then he would actually. I mean, who cares about having a 2/3 destroyed or the power reduced, right? It doesn't. It's like an ability that doesn't match with his cost and power. But what I would like him to just be a 3. If he was a 3, then he could be a Surfer card, and he would be a really interesting like addition to the Surfer because then it's like, yeah, you can't Shadow King that. You can't. I mean. It's like it won't. If you're playing Toxic, it won't go down. Like I don't know if it's gonna fit. Like what do you do with it even as a 5? I think that as a 3, it would have a place.
Yeah, I don't know. I think just like a beefy 5-drop, like a 5'10". You get your Surtur going, you get your Scar going. You know, can't be reduced, can't be Shang-Chi'd. I think that's cool. But a 3/3 is cool too, man. If you make him like a 3/5, I think that'd be awesome as well. Same effect.
Yeah, 5'10", you could play him in like a Wiccan deck or something, you know?
Yeah.
I think it'd be kind of good.
Spectrum.
There's no big stat stick option at 5 unless it's like very conditional. So like Black Panther's very conditional. Gamora's conditional. Devil Dino, Ronin, Darkhawk. These are all, you have to do a bunch of shit in order to get them. There's no like, here's a big 5-drop, you know, like we don't like really have that. So I think Colossus would fit that role. He'd be maybe more boring. Like it'd be more good cards deck. You'd play Colossus, but I think like a Wiccan build, a Big Dumb Idiots build. It could be interesting. I don't know. Maybe even 11. Maybe even make him an 11 power.
Yeah, I think we're in agreement, all of us, that he just needs to be bigger. Like, make it even like more cost, bigger card. Yeah, a 3-drop would be cool. It'd be cool for a Surfer.
What'd you do? 3/5 MSV?
I would.
Yeah, 3/4. I mean, it would probably 3/5 would be perfect, right? But even I guess you'd have to make him a 3/5 because he just isn't doing that much, right?
He can't be a 3/4. He'd be shit.
No one will play him at 3/4. I don't think. Yeah, I think it's 5 or 6. Honestly, at 3 cost.
Yeah, at least 3/5. He can be like an option, you know.
Yeah. I mean, A-Bomb or Abomination is 5'9". So if you made Colossus, Colossus just a 5'9", I mean, that would not break anything. All you're getting, I mean, that's you're supposed to be like moving on from the like no effect cards to cards that have effect, right? And then at 5'9", it makes sense. Like that's a big stat stick, right? Yeah, I don't know. Maybe you're right. It would have to be 5'10". It would have to be 5'10".
I mean, Cyclops is a 3/4, and then they just released a 3/14. So I mean, they don't give a fuck about these cards.
Yeah.
So
yeah, and A-Bomb, I look more A-Bomb like he's like more of a 0/9. You know, he's a 0/9 in high Evo affliction. So and like you can't play A-Bomb. You can't put A-Bomb in a deck. Like you can't.
No, you see those cards, you're snapping. You see Colossus, it's a bot on ladder. You're snapping.
Yeah.
Like that's what's happening. So
we can't put Vanilla Hulk in a deck without Evo, right? Like we can't do it, you know.
Yeah.
Like, so I think 5'10", 5'11". Yeah, even 3/5 I think makes sense. I like it.
What if okay, so do you remember the whole Luke Cage fiasco, right? Where they took Luke Cage and then made him just a single lane protection, at 2, and then they finally moved him, and then no one played him, and then they finally moved him to a 3, across the board. I mean, maybe Colossus could be that old Luke Cage. I mean, maybe he could, for 2-3, protect a lane from losing power.
Ah, okay. Yeah, or destroyed or not, because we already have armor, I guess. But yeah.
Yeah, that's armor, basically.
Yeah, I don't know, like, because we kind of have Luke Cage, we have armor in the game already. I don't know.
Oh my goodness! Like, what if he was a whole lane where you couldn't increase or decrease power, so that it affected the other side? We don't have anything that we don't have like an or I guess it'd be like Shadow King, right? Is just that reverse. But what if you had like a single lane Shadow King, or like an ongoing Shadow King, rather than just a white Shadow King?
That sounds cool. You make him a tech card. That sounds really interesting. Power ongoing. Power can't be increased or decreased in this lane. 2-3. That sounds kind of fun. I like it. It's something where you'd actually consider playing him sometimes. So I like it.
That's kind of cool, actually. I like that. That's great. All right, fixed Colossus.
Like they're gonna put a Venom. They're gonna play their Venom. You just throw a Colossus in there, like it just stays 3-3.
That's great.
That'd be hilarious.
Yeah. All right. Went through some of the dog shit cards. SnapVariants, dude. It's been a slice. Thank you so much for coming on. Honestly, tell people where they can find you again, because your Twitter and I'm sure your Blue Sky, whatever that is, whatever the kids are doing these days is pretty. I'm sure it's fire as well. But yeah, your Twitter is amazing. Seeing all the variants from the community, everyone just kind of like flocks to you and just tags you whenever they get a cool variant. It's awesome. You're gonna have to hire a team pretty soon. But thanks for coming on, man. Thanks for doing this with us. We appreciate you, man. We appreciate what you do for the community. You're awesome. Your outfit is sick as well. I love the glasses. I love the neon. It's awesome. But yeah, thanks. Tell people where they can find you one more time.
Thank you for having me on. This was great. I've been listening to you since you first started. It's always been great just hearing you guys chatter on about Snap. It's always low key. It's great. But if you want to come find me on Twitter or Blue Sky or TikTok, what I'm missing now. Those are good, and then it's all just SnapVariants. It's my handle on all 3 of those. I'm the most active on Twitter and now more Blue Sky. So, but thank you very much. This was fantastic.
Oh, dude, come back anytime. It was awesome. And actually, before we go, I gotta I'd be kind of an idiot not to ask you this question, but what is your favorite variant in Marvel Snap? I'm sure you get that a lot, or one of them. I'm sure there's a ton.
No, I don't think it is not something I get very often. My picture for my avatar.
Maria Hill.
The casual Maria Hill.
Yeah, I mean, I used to switch it every couple weeks, and that one stuck because Ben Brode went on a podcast or something and said that was his favorite variant. So I was like, all right, I was so happy I had got that one. I'd been waiting for it. So, but is it my favorite variant? I don't know if it's my favorite variant anymore, but it is what represents me now. But I love, there's a whole lot, but part of the reason I really want them to fix Kang is the first Spotlight Kang is so sick. It is amazing. Like I would, back when those Spotlight caches were brand new, and I went and spent I spent everything to get all 4 to get that, and that was everything I had to get that Kang variant that I never played ever. So I want that Kang fix.
I hear you. That's good. I love that. That's great. That's a sick variant. It's like all the little heroes warped into the thing as well, through time. No big deal. What do you got to say to people? Take us out, my man.
It's so funny. I was literally just gonna say, hey, look for the Maria Hill on Twitter, but SB brought that up. Hey, negatives back. If you don't like the Surtur stuff, Shank's pretty good. Combo, be degenerate, go over the top. They can't hurt you with their 10 power cards. They can only put 10 power on the board. So keep that in mind. Or just play the Surtur deck yourself. I mean, it's a pretty good deck and it's fun. And shout out to Gunny T. Is finally his deck has risen to the top. You know, the timing is right. So I hope everybody's enjoying themselves. Have a good weekend and stay snapping.
That's it. And you know what? Buff Kang, make him great again. Peace!